Given moment, you're a perfect version of that, even though you may change.
Exactly. Um, the evil eye symbol is more or less the same symbol as like Sirius. Um, like how do they relate to one another?
They don't.
They don't.
No, the idea is simply the concept of being watched because as you observe, others observe you. That's the way they do relate. But they don't relate in the sense of the definitions that your society has given to that symbol in that way. It's only a representation of the fact that you can see the symbol either as positive or negative, depending upon what belief systems you hold to be true within yourself. That's how it relates. But that meaning isn't inherently built into that symbol. It's there as an observation thing to observe how you respond and react to it. Yes?
Yes.
All right.
So they're not related in the way that someone that was very connected to Sirius created the symbol of the evil eye.
Correct.
All right.
It's just a symbol of connection and observation. But whether it appears to be benign or evil has to do more with the belief systems that that person may have been taught. Does that
That
help?
doesn't make much sense. Could you?
All right. You are given the symbol, let's just say, that seems to be like an eye to you. And if we're telling you that that eye is observing you, watching you, seeing what's going on, but also the vibration of that eye may be causing certain beliefs within each person to rise to the surface of their consciousness and be expressed, well, those that might hold on to some fear-based beliefs or negative beliefs in their unconscious mind may interpret the symbol negatively and say it's an evil eye that could control me or do damage to me, while others who may be more inclined to look at things more positively will simply see it as a connection to those who are looking over you, watching over you, observing you for more neutral or positive reasons. So the vibration of that symbol as an eye, interpreted as an eye, can be taken either positively or negatively based on what belief systems are within the person doing the observing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Will that
That
do?
would. Thank you for this, and it was very nice to speak with you again.
And you as well. Good day.
Good day.
Hi,
Good day.
good day. I have a question.
Yes.
It was 2 nights ago, I think. Um, it was an odd experience because I heard an alarm and I just woke up in the middle of the night and I heard an alarm.
Yes.
Um,
Was it between 3 and 4 a.m. or a different time?
Probably. I just maybe thought it was a different time.
Okay. Well, it might have been.
Yeah.
What are you asking?
I'm asking, is it like an ET or something? Or
Well,
was it just me waking up?
it might have been something from your guides to alert you, not necessarily negatively alarm you, but to alert you to something that was going on in your consciousness or in the encounter you might have been having when you were out of your body. So it might have been something for the purpose of bringing your attention to something. We can't necessarily say what at this particular point, but it seems to be something that would be getting your attention, to bring your attention to something important at that time, to pay attention to something. All right?
Yeah.
It may happen again. and thus you may build more familiarity with what it is actually attempting to get your attention to pay attention to.
Yes.
So next time it happens, look around the room, see if you can sense or see something going on, or look outside your window, see if you can see or sense something going on that might be unusual. But it's attempting to get you to pay attention to something at a certain timing. All right?
Yes.
All right. Does that help?
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
All right. What?
And I just forgot.
All right. Well, pleasant dreams to you.
You too.
Always. Thank you.
Oh,
Yes, you remember?
yes. Is there anything that could help me have more connection with ETs?
Follow the formula that we share with everyone. Synchronicity will bring you exactly what you need in perfect timing. Just have the intention to be open to those connections. Synchronicity will bring them to you. And this may be connected to that, what we've already discussed to some degree.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is all.
All right. Good day.
Good day.
Hi, Bashar. Chris from California again. I'm wanting to understand more clearly this idea that the structure of existence never changes, only our perspective and experience of that structure changes. Can you walk us through that idea in a new or more detailed way so that we can get a fuller understanding of it? Thank you.
Yes, although this may require a visual representation if you have access to it. I'm going to describe an object. It is known by a few different names. One of the names is a blivet, B-L-I-V-E-T. This is an optical illusion object. It is defined generally as an elongated form that has what appear to be 3 round prongs on one end and simply 2 squarish ones on the other end. It is what you would call an impossible object to exist in 3 dimensions. It's a higher dimensional form. But you can have a drawing of it, and you can see the optical illusion in it because one end appears to be blockish and squarish and only has 2 extended prongs, but at the other end, the space in between the other 2 is drawn in such a manner that it seems to suddenly transform into one of the 3 round prongs at the other end. If you are familiar with this object, you can look it up if you're not, blivet. But the idea is that this form never changes. That's the structure of it. But if you cover the bottom half, you would think that it represents a blockish 2-pronged object. And if you cover the upper half, you would believe that it represents a 3-dimensional, 3-pronged object with round prongs. So therefore, even though the structure underneath what you have covered up hasn't changed, your perspective of the object has changed by blocking your view of the bottom or the top half, showing you that you can have an object that doesn't change within itself, but you can perceive it in different ways to represent what appear to be different objects. And that's the basic principle underlying the nature of existence. The structure of existence, represented by the laws, doesn't change. But your perspective of it changes. Your relationship to it changes. Your experience of it changes depending on your point of view of an object or a structure that never changes.
Good morning, Bashar. It's wonderful to be here with you this morning.
And you as well.
Have you seen Jill Gurr about the universe?
We know that she is in spirit, have connected briefly from time to time.
Thank you. I didn't really have a question to ask you. This is morning time for me. But what I did want to share is that I've had some really beautiful synchronicities around your energy. Many synchronicities, actually. The most recent was a being. I'm not sure if I think it's feminine. I think she is from your civilization.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure, but I'm very interested in the disclosure that's been going on, and I'm very interested in contact.
Yes.
And so I'm not surprised that I might pull that kind of energy towards me, but
Yes. All right. Well, we can confirm that a female in our society is connecting with you.
oh, thank you.
She has something to do with nature, with flowers, with the essence of the vibration felt when you are in deep communion with nature. And she is working with you because in terms of relative time, you are about to go towards something bigger than what you've been doing.
Yes. I am definitely in a time of transition. I feel like I am letting a chapter go, or
Yes.
I'm just in mid-chapter. I'm
Yes.
tidying it up, letting it go. I would be happy to have already completed it, but it's okay because I do realize there's a process to it. But I'm
Yes.
almost finished,
Yes.
and I'm clearing my plate.
And this is why we can sense that you're about to embark on something bigger. It will be coming in possibly within the next 3 to 6 months at the outside. Maybe sooner, but we'll see what your process brings you.
Yeah.
But within 3 to 6 months, look for something being presented to you synchronistically that would allow you to embark on something bigger.
How beautiful. I've been feeling that would be lovely to experience.
All right.
Because I have been working in it's a paradox. I've been working, it feels like in a more confined area physically.
Yes.
Yet.
You need to expand.
Yes. And internally, there's been expansion, and creatively.
But the outside will reflect the inside soon enough.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, not really. Just to really share with you my absolute appreciation for everything that you are.
A deep appreciation for you as well. Our unconditional love to you. Aveo.
Aveo.
Consciousness is, and the idea of taking responsibility and living in the moment and having accurate definitions of all these concepts and letting go of the fear-based beliefs and outdated definitions, these in and of themselves in this day and age may allow you more flexibility in changing your theme if you have exhausted the original one. You now have the opportunity in this lifetime to have more than one theme. So, allow yourself simply to stay in the present, move forward in acting on the idea of the formula that we have shared with all of you. If you are able to change your theme, if you come to that point, you will recognize it through synchronicity. You will feel the original theme leave you. You will feel some freedom within you and a sense of the ability to choose something different.
It seems like since we have greater communication now with our higher minds, because we understand that relationship within ourselves better, that makes things much more, quote unquote, changeable.
Yes.
Because a negotiation can actually take place.
As long as a lesson is learned, then yes, you are free to choose other themes.
Okay, great. And can you tell us how astrology and karma could be related?
No.
Okay.
Because they're not.
Can you use astrology in any way, though? You could probably use it as a tool to balance your karma. Yeah.
You can use it as a permission slip, like any permission slip, to again allow yourself to use karma to balance yourself. But to say to balance your karma is again misleading. You're not balancing your karma. Karma is the balancing act.
Okay. So, and do we have a choice about our next lifetime?
Yes.
Do we make that choice once we're in spirit, right?
Sometimes you can make it when you're still in physical reality, though you usually allow it to happen when you are in spirit, because there's more flexibility, more awareness, more understanding of what you have learned from the physical experience, and more opportunity to apply that to the next choice you may make.
Okay, and one person was saying that after their parents passed away, two cardinal birds came around and made their home directly across from the front door of my house, which was once their parents' house. And so this person feels a real connection with these birds and wants to know, is it possible for the soul of a person to come back as an animal?
No, no. This is not a reincarnational question. Remember again, bring everything back to the fact that everything exists at the same time. Therefore, that immediately eliminates the idea, mechanically speaking, of reincarnation. You can have it as an experience, as a presentation for certain reasons, for certain purposes, but that's not what's mechanically happening. However, this can involve another aspect of the oversoul, of which the person is also a part and the animal is also a part. So it may be a presentation of the same oversoul in another form, but that doesn't mean that the person came back as that animal. It's just another aspect of the same oversoul that the person themselves might also have been an extension of. We will go more deeply into this in a future transmission, after the next transmission, when we will discuss the idea of how the oversoul works.
I don't know if this is the right time to ask this question, but the idea of a bird or a flower or a smell being a recognition that a person is communicating with you, that's a completely different idea than the one we were just talking about.
Yes, that is simply a presentation of synchronicity using a vibration that may awaken you or alert you to the idea that another being in spirit may be attempting to communicate with you.
Right. So rather than the idea of, oh, that's my parents reincarnated, it's more like when you're seeing those birds, they're actually triggering you to know you're having a communication.
It can be that, but as I said, it doesn't necessarily just have to be that. It can actually be not only a message or a signal, but it can actually be an extension of the same oversoul that the person was an extension of too. I'm simply saying that's another option.
Okay. And there's a lot of feelings about staying in your excitement and how to get back into that when you're experiencing a lot of loss or grief or negative things keep happening, or you even though you try to stay neutral, those challenges of how do you balance yourself so that you can feel the inspiration again that comes from your excitement.
As we have said, the first thing you must do is accept what's happening as there being a reason for it happening. So if you're experiencing those challenges, own them and ask yourself what your beliefs have to be in order to generate what you're experiencing, because it can't be otherwise. You can only experience what you believe you can experience. And if you believe you need to experience a challenge in that way, as a loss or something that seems challenging in a negative way, then you must believe that you're getting something out of doing it that way. You must be learning something. So by owning it and by asking yourself, what are you getting out of remaining in that belief system that's generating the experience in this particular way, then you can, with honesty, go deeper into your self-investigation. Remember, know thyself. And the deeper you go into why you have a belief that is making you experience these things, why you're holding on to that belief to keep experiencing things in that way, will illuminate what it is you think you're getting out of doing that, why you won't let it go, and it can give you much deeper insight into how to free yourself of it by realizing that by letting it go, you may actually have a much stronger connection and a much more positive experience of what it is you're exploring as a relationship to other people or other places or other things.
So when negative emotions come up when someone's following their excitement, such as feeling very intense anxiety and insecurity,
Remember, that's what's supposed to happen. The reflective mirror tool in your passion brings your attention to belief systems within you that are out of alignment with your passion. So the fact that those things come up should excite you. That's part of your excitement, because now you have something to work with, and now you can realize that you can let something go that doesn't serve you, and that adds to the energy and momentum of your passion. So it's all right to feel those things and own them, but recognize that's why they come up, because they're bringing your attention to something you didn't realize was there, and now that gives you the opportunity to work with it and let it go, and that is an exciting prospect. The actual meaning of that word. It is an ancient Sanskrit word, but most people on your planet have come to think of it as some sort of retribution or punishment or comeuppance or just desserts, so to speak. Someone might do something to you that you feel hurt you, and then maybe later something happens to them that they don't find pleasant, and many people on your planet go, karma, they got what they deserved. That is not the meaning of karma at all in its original form. The Sanskrit word karma simply means action. That's literally what the word means, action. And as we have said many times, actions are the language of physical reality. So this is understood in ancient times as the idea of the actions you take to rebalance yourself if you find that you have taken some action that brings you out of balance. So it's not an issue of punishment. It's not an issue of retribution or comeuppance or deservability in that sense. Yes, your actions have consequences. Of course they do. What you put out is what you get back. That's the law. But the idea is that karma is really just a guiding mechanism, a mechanism to allow you to be more aware of when you are out of alignment with your true vibration, so that you can take whatever actions are required, whatever karma is necessary for you to bring yourself back into alignment with your core true frequency, your core vibration. So it's important now, in this day and age of clarification, of definitions, to let go of the idea that karma has anything at all to do with retribution or punishment, and allow yourself to begin to take and use it in a more conscious and responsible way, to constantly guide yourself in the recognition and the discernment that you may have created a situation or a circumstance within yourself by some actions that may have moved you out of alignment with your integrity, with who you really prefer to be, and use that awareness to take the actions necessary to bring yourself back into alignment. That is why we have often said that as soon as you recognize you're out of alignment and choose to bring yourself back into alignment, choose to explore yourself and let go of those things that have brought you out of alignment and allow yourself to go back into alignment, you have erased your karma. Again, not meaning the idea of punishment, but the idea of the willingness to take the actions necessary to right yourself, to guide yourself, to course correct yourself through life, and bring yourself back into alignment. Now, this is why what we have just described is the answer to when people ask, well, this person, no names shall be given, does things that are very much out of alignment, very negative, and yet they never seem to really reap any consequence of this. They don't seem to be subject to the so-called law of karma. That's, again, because karma is not a punishment. The idea may sometimes be that a person's belief systems that are negatively oriented may allow them to experience some negative things in turn, but that's because they're holding on to the negative beliefs that caused them to go out of alignment to begin with, and are still holding on to them, which can attract more negativity as a downward spiral into their lives. However, there are people on your planet, you generally label them as either sociopathic or psychopathic, that simply do not have the awareness within themselves because they've never been taught to, or simply have some particular physical reason for disconnecting from that aspect of their consciousness, so that they do not have the correcting mechanism. They do not know how to take the actions that would bring them back into alignment, because the belief system that they have developed within themselves allows them to believe they are not doing anything that is out of alignment, and therefore they see no reason to activate the karmic actions that would bring them back into alignment, because they don't believe they're out of alignment. So again, this is why some people may continue to do very negative things and never seem in any way, shape, or form to be held responsible for these things. Nothing bad ever seems to happen to them, as people on your planet say. This compartmentalization of beliefs and the belief that you're not doing anything negative because of the lack of connection to the karmic actions necessary to bring you back into alignment is the reason why this can occur. So it's all about allowing people to start understanding, reconnecting, and letting go of the idea that karma has anything at all to do with blame or punishment, and it's simply a device that allows you to take the actions necessary to be who you truly are, to recognize your core vibration, and to bring yourself back into alignment with it. This allows you to begin to really take full responsibility for the things that you create and perceive in your physical reality experience. And as we have said, responsibility is nothing more than the ability to respond. So karma, being defined as action, is the heightened ability to respond to misalignment by taking the actions necessary to bring yourself back into alignment. That's all karma is, but it is a very powerful tool if used in that way, in its original intention. So allow yourselves to practice letting go of any definition of karma that has anything at all to do with the idea of comeuppance or retribution or revenge, and allow yourself to bring it closer to home as a device that is actively participating in the creation of your life and your reality experience, and can be used every day in the most positive ways to make sure that you are course correcting and allowing yourself to move forward in the most aligned way to your true core being. Now, we thank you for allowing us to provide you with a more modern and updated, and yet at the same time ancient definition, the original definition of karma. And in return for the gift you are giving us in interacting with all of you, I ask you now, in what ways may we be of service to you? Please begin with your questions and dialogues if you wish.